Like I said, a lot of people doubted me. A lot of people said I haven't fought anybody. I can't sell. I don't have no personality. They just wrote me off for years and years, and it all came to a halt tonight.
Canelo asked Crawford, "Who's the elite fighter you've beaten?" after laughing at his resume.
But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
Now, fast forward to the present, and you know what? Canelo merely put his name on Bud's list. And this fight was a tale, man, the way it played out.
The fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA.
Canelo advanced like a tank and launched powerful weapons, but Crawford remained agile, countering and causing Canelo to miss just enough to annoy the champion. It seemed like brains versus brawn in every round. Bud slipping, tagging, Canelo piling up bombs, and keeping the judges occupied. This wasn't simply Crawford surviving, and the audience couldn't believe what they were witnessing. This was Crawford dictating the tempo.
We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the.
You could sense the tide gradually shifting with each round, as though Bud were drawing Canelo farther into quicksand that he was unable to escape. The 12th round counter, however, is the true headline. Crawford timed it just so. His head swung like a door in the wind after cracking Canelo so cleanly.
Well, the first 3 rounds, I felt like I was in control. I think he was trying to figure me out.
Did you feel that you were frustrating him? He tried to lift you up. He headbutted you. Were you sensing that you were frustrating him?
Of course. He was a little frustrated in there, but that's part of the game.
The weird part comes next. People used to say that Canelo consumed Triple G's punches like they were food. However, Crawford struck him so forcefully this time that it appeared as though Canelo's soul briefly traveled to a different realm before returning. The arena sprung into life. Because nobody anticipated Canelo getting rocked like that, fans on both sides were leaping from their seats. It was also seen in Canelo's eyes. He now felt the kind of power he vowed Bud lacked, and that was respect.
What was his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo, to me, to be honest.
Congratulations.
The night was sealed with that shot. And it wasn't merely a victory when the scorecards were examined. It was a decisive moment that demonstrated Crawford's rightful place on the throne of greatness. The finest aspect was that Canelo's frustration was evident on his face. All he wanted to do was get out of the ring and head home.
It looked like Canelo Alvarez almost wanted to walk off at one point.
Yeah, he was frustrated, and it is frustrating to try and fight a guy, and you want to fight, but this guy's moving well, and Crawford was moving.
This wasn't the cool-headed boxing monarch that we've been accustomed to for years. The aura had been taken away from this man. Canelo appeared unremarkable for the first time in his career, like just another fighter with no solutions. Crawford humbled him in addition to beating him. And nobody anticipated that we would ever see it.
It's made like a whole resume of stuff tonight.
It means a lot to me because, anybody can be a nobody, like I said, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
And say congratulations.
The legend who had previously caused other fighters to falter under duress was now the one leaving with his throne unsettled, his empire called into doubt, and his pride bruised. The problem is this. History has completely changed when the supposed face of boxing appears to be unwilling to go. Canelo, who ate bombs from the strongest punchers like they were appetizers, is the fighter who survived battles with Triple G. Crawford, however, gave him a human appearance. Not only weak and human, the loss didn't simply shock the fans. Canelo's body language, his dejected spirit, and his escalating rage astounded them. If this bout demonstrated anything, it was that Crawford didn't simply enter Canelo's universe. He conquered the entire country, took the throne, and demonstrated to the boxing world that even the unassailable king is susceptible to defeat.
He's the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah. Nah, we ain't going up that much.
The big issue now is what Bud will do after Crawford shocked the boxing world by defeating Canelo. Because following a performance like that, you're looking at terrain that will define your legacy rather than simply a victory. Crawford may maintain his position as the new king by remaining at 168. If he wants to win every title, he might even go after Chase undisputed. Imagine him up against the Mexican monster David Benz. Stadiums would be sold out for that fight.
Last question. Is Terence Crawford retired? Is he going to keep fighting?
He's going to keep fighting.
He's going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Okay, what's next for him? You've been training for years. What's next for him? The fans want to know. What's next for him?
Break. Take a break.
Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He's just got to take a break.
Alternatively, Bud might try his hand against a beast like Val at 175 if he truly wants to establish his brilliance. It would be crazy. A man who began his professional career as a lightweight climber and continued to outperform giants. Crawford is no longer only the pound-for-pound champion, in any case. He represents boxing. And now that he has dismantled Canelo in this manner, every fighter between 154 and 175 is staring at Crawford in terror as he has demonstrated that ability and dog mentality are more important than size.
How hard did he hit? How hard did he hit?
He didn't hit as hard as I thought he was. You know, he's definitely technical, but, you know, I've been hit harder.
Look, I said earlier on the show, it seems like inactivity doesn't affect you, weight doesn't affect you. Who can beat you out there? Is there anybody?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed by...
And that is the crazy part because Andre Ward interrupts us as we are discussing whether Crawford should test Bivol at 175 or ride off into the sunset. As you and I both know, Ward doesn't show off his accolades. We've never seen a more disciplined, straight-shooting combatant than this one. Even so, he claims that Crawford is this generation's GOAT. It isn't hype. That isn't advertising. That is the co-signing of one tail by another. And believe me when I say that a Ward stamp is the most official boxing gesture.
But there was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special? You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant.
Here's the worst part, though. Ward isn't merely complimenting Bud. He is essentially advising us to curb our greed. We are constantly eager for the next battle or challenge. Ward, however, asserts that those boxes have already been checked. The dominance, the wealth, and the legacy. Everything is there. To be honest, he's correct. How many times must Crawford demonstrate that odds, size, and power are irrelevant before we simply declare, yeah, this man is built differently? It is hardly an indication of weakness for Ward to ask him to hang up after Canelo. It is a salute. The words of a Hall of Famer to another, you've done it all. Savor the throne now.
Don't call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being...
Andre Ward called Crawford the greatest of this generation, just when we thought he had dropped the mic. Boom. Fimo Lopez steps in and elevates it further. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, you know, Tio. What does he say then? Crawford is among the all-time top 10. Give that some time to sink in. Right now, we aren't discussing every penny in detail. We are discussing the history books of boxing. You, I, and every other fight fan just watched a guy who began at lightweight take on the Mexican king and make him appear so agitated that he nearly wanted to quit. It's more than just a victory. This entails revising the legend's hierarchy.
What happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. Crawford is on his way, continuing to create.
We all witnessed what Lopez pointed out. Crawford gives him a human appearance, but Canelo's feet appear heavier than a bag of cement. The crazy thing is that Bud remained unbroken despite the pressure. In those subsequent rounds, he maintained his composure, outworked Canelo, and left him doubting himself. We can all joke about it now, but when a man with Canelo's resume appears to be looking for the last bell in order to get away, that's history, dude. When Lopez referred to it as the top 10 all-time, he wasn't kidding. Crawford is telling us straight out that he's not just great, he's now boxing royalty.
Oh, he was washed, but where's he at in terms of his prime? How can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight.
Okay, so after Teofimo finished bragging about respect in video games, the mic immediately switches to Lennox Lewis, the legendary figure. And believe me when I say that Lennox wasn't lying at all, dude. In essence stated, "Yo, I expected Canelo to throw hands, not just shadowbox air." To be completely honest, I thought that we were all waiting for Canelo to awaken, but Crawford transformed him into a lost Taurus who was swinging at ghosts. Even the iconic line, "The cat got too fat," was eliminated by Lennox. In other words, Bud is still craving for greatness, whereas Canelo has been enjoying too much of their paychecks.
I was actually amazed at the way how Terence Crawford moved and, never got hit. And threw combinations, because that's what you're supposed to do, throw combinations. So he threw combinations. He wasn't trying to knock out
This is the part that made me laugh. According to Lennox, he only gave Canelo roughly 3 rounds. 3. The judges must have been watching a totally other bout in the meanwhile. Netflix, perhaps. Who knows? Due to Canelo's 5 rounds. That's charity work, no. Lennox further claimed that Crawford was merely stacking combos like Tetris pieces and wasn't really attempting to knock out the opponent. That told you everything, I promise. Bud didn't require a single powerful blow. He just expertly smothered Canelo. You most likely consider dog years to be boxing rounds if you still believe Canelo won 5 rounds.
I've seen Canelo box about many times, and I thought that this time he just boxed like he always boxes. And then I felt he couldn't really do nothing against Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford was too...
Folks, there you have it. Crawford left with the crown, the legacy, and the respect, while Canelo entered with the aura. This was no ordinary fight night. This marked a change in the history of boxing. Bud just carved his name on the wall of legends, as we witnessed. The odd thing is that he made it appear as though nothing had changed. From Teofimo's audacious observations to Lennox Lewis's professorial dissection, everyone is saying the same thing. Without a doubt, Crawford is that person. It's on you now, though. Do you believe Bud was demonstrating his superiority or that Canelo was exposed? Should Val retire first as the face of the campaign, or should Crawford pursue him at 175? Boxing. Post your opinions in the comments section. I'd want to listen to the arguments. Additionally, remember to subscribe, like, and share Boxing Headquarters. We are only delivering the real to you. And I promise you that the next one will be much more bizarre.